So we'll say, hey, thanks for joining on the YouTube or on the Twitch. We so far been installing and getting our licenses correctly for Houdini. That took me around an hour with a couple of other stuff. So now we're right on track and we have Houdini installed with our right education package. Now, when we have opened Houdini, we have got into the first thing. Where is there 2 versions of Houdini launched? That should not be the case. We got like a introduction page. Here it is, right there. And I just clicked on the links for getting started and for learning paths, content library, SideFX labs, and Orbolt. And for now, we have gotten into these pages, and I will bring it up to you guys. Oops, I lost my Chrome. No. Okay, here we are. So I was reading, I finished this page here, and we decided, all right, so let me take you back. Yeah, we read through this, right? Houdini is really good for TV, video game, etc. There's a foundation book here to download. We will go through a foundation course. I wouldn't mention their names or anything, just for me to learn for now. And we'll do that, as you can see on the right, with the Outlook here that we have today and tomorrow dedicated to learn Houdini. Then I have a break, and then on Friday. So we were reading here what else tutorials we should start with before we start the Double Jump Academy Houdini for Games workshop, which will start on Monday, next Monday on the stream, and I will post the recordings as well. So far we have, so we read through this. We have foundation overview. Maybe we could check it out later. Foundations, nodes network, and smashing wine, destruction, all the very basic stuff that Houdini can do. I went through foundations procedural assets for Unreal for now, because that is something we will definitely work with in the course or in the workshop, to be more precise. I haven't seen this basic or basics and project-based learning and transition guides yet. Well, in the basics, we have Houdini for the new artist. That's kind of cool. Houdini is HIP Oceans is hip, I guess. Introduction to Houdini, Houdini in 5 minutes, games quick start, Houdini Kitchen for games, Vellum notes, I guess, the core essentials, and CG wiki. Well, we need to know the foundations. We need to know the UI. We need to know things that are quite simple to learn. I try to avoid those tutorials, so I will start with something else for the foundations from an artist that actually, uses their work every day. So, and now for the second page, which is learning Houdini, they have getting started, take your first step into the world of Houdini's procedural node-based workflow. Cool. What's new? Learn about what's new. Okay, modeling, learn how to create and edit geometry. Lighting and rendering, learn layout for look dev. Okay, character rigging. Now we're just basically getting an idea of what the software can do. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. And so, yeah, we were just getting to know what the thing can do. Yeah, of course, it can do a lot of things. I know a lot of artists that work in rigging with Houdini. It seems to be really good at it. We have visual effects, pyro effects, fluids, destruction. These things you see repeating a lot. Game development, game tools. This could be interesting. Unreal, this could be interesting. Unity is also interesting. World building, this is what we want, man. This stuff right there, this is what we have to start with, and then we will continue from there. Character FX, clothes, hair, fur, crowds, cool. Pipeline, PDG, learn how to manage pipeline dependencies, scripting VEX, for costume nodes and shaders. VEX is its own language for Houdini that is used in the program. Schools and training centers. Okay, we will not go there. Hopefully in the future, but we will not go there. Okay. I will save those things in Houdini, so we don't forget about them. I think this one is quite interesting. I will add it as well. And we will go down to here. Did we finish this? Yes, we did. And then there's a cupcake project. There's the Houdini practice hour. Cool. Houdini 101. Sounds cool. Transition guides. Maya to Houdini. CG Wiki. Maya to Houdini. Houdini concepts for the Maya artist. Houdini for the Maya artist. A lot of Maya stuff. More, yeah, they offer more. Oh my god, that's a lot of stuff. Okay, we need to focus. We need to be able to focus. Content library, that's all the stuff we just saw before. And more SideFX labs. What is labs? What is that? Tools for digital artists. SideFX lab is testing ground for over 230 tools designed to help you get up and running quicker. The SideFX lab tools wrap up and release common workflows and create tight integrations with software you use every day. The tools are developed outside the regular Houdini. Did we post this? I don't know. The regular Houdini development cycle, which makes them more accessible for testing and feedback. Cool. Tools, documentation, installation, and structure, SideFX lab on GitHub. So those are like the tools they're creating with other developers or with themselves. And you could try them. And there are some integrations. Okay, let's read through it a little bit just to understand what this is all about. FX, mesh processing, world building. Okay, FX, Houdini is known for its strong FX tools, and SideFX Lab has tools to process and process the results for use in a real-time environment for games or virtual production. Labs has a range of tools to help optimize and export your sims to texture, FBX, CSV, etc. Those are file formats. Mesh processing. There are a lot of steps to get quality meshes into your games. Photogrammetry, topology cleanup, mesh reduction, UV layout, baking maps, labs tools let you simplify that process. So lab tools will make you simplify all of those things. Let you simplify that process with wrapped up workflows and integration with popular software. Okay, that's kind of cool. So let's see. World building. Digital worlds are becoming bigger and more complex, and it's important to have an efficient world building workflow. Whether you want to recreate New York City, grow a dense forest, or add interior details to your sci-fi adventure, there are lab tools for you. Okay, that is amazing. We'll check that out. I think it's quite interesting. Public roadmaps, SideFX Lab. Public roadmap is a place where you can check out the released, planned, or proposed tools. Okay, so this is where we can check what they're working on, when it will be released, etc. SideFX Lab on ArtStation to check what they're doing with the tools at the moment. I don't want to show artist stuff on my stream without their permission, so I'll just close this for now. Integration. One piece of software can't meet all the challenges you face in a day. Houdini can be the backbone to your pipeline, allowing other packages to send and receive assets. To streamline your pipeline, SideFX Labs provide integration that includes support for photogrammetry, look dev, texture generation, and more. I think like Houdini is currently being used in every game, right? Because if you have that streamline of pipeline, so to speak, you're making the life of the artist much easier. You're making generation or generating those huge open worlds easier to do. Here. Labs, tools, and action. So this is where they're being used already. Sea of Thieves gives a comprehensive look at the adoption of Houdini, maybe worth checking out. Just to see what we're learning right now. This is Sea of Thieves, the GDC talk. Could be an interesting talk to check later. So I will save it and check it on my own time. Candy Crush, cool. Mortal Kombat. All right. All right. So far so good. So far so good. It's looking good. I think we have access to that even. Just let me check my licenses. Where are my licenses? Where are my licenses? Here we are. We have licenses here, do we? No, not there. Okay, we'll close this then. And check if we have licenses somewhere. There. No, that's our file. Do we have it there? Yes, we might have it here. I have so many tabs open right there. The good old too many tabs open. Yeah, it's not here. Might have closed it by mistake. It could be. It's for sure the case. Okay, I might have closed. So good. So we've seen those different things. We saved some of the bookmarks to learn more. And now I will start with understanding this this UI here that we're having. Looks a lot like 3ds Max. Let's try if the navigation works like the programs we use. This is a weird one. Control click is a weird one. You can't Control Z out of your decisions. Okay. The tilt is not cool. I don't like that tilt at all. We'll just turn it back to. Oh wow, that's an interesting tool right there. Okay. Okay. So far so good. It's a very normal 3D space. Right clicks. What would happen here? Is it closer to 3ds Max, do you think? Or closer to. Well, we have to learn that, that's for sure. These are the turning on and off of gizmos. Locking the cam, lights on or off, I guess. Wow, there's a lot of stuff to learn. So remember the days where we would, you know, learn things on our own without internet. I might sound very old, but back in Syria, I didn't have internet connection until I was about 16 or 14. Don't quite remember, and we had like to learn everything on our own just like that. All right, so I have to get used to those controls. God damn it. After I got used to Blender, I have to get used to something else. Okay, so exciting. It's all exciting until now. I will watch the tutorial and see what we can do. Let me check the structure of the course. We have, yeah, we will start with proceduralism. It seems that we're starting quite fast. So I will also start quite fast. I'll be right back. Okay, so far we know that we could hide and unhide things, such to make things a bit easier to see. There are X. Actually, let me put you back to practice here. Yeah, so we can hide and unhide things as such. We have similar to Blender a little bit. Scene view, animation editor, render view. Those are presets that are already were here. Yeah, just like that, hide, unhide. I like the way it looks right now. I'm used to programs to look like this, so it's not too intimidating for me at the moment. Yeah, of course you could disable, you can close those things, but for now, to be able to follow any tutorial we want to watch, let's keep everything looking the same. So far we learned that, yeah, you can box select with the left click, you could press Alt and move as such. You could press the right button to zoom in. Then you could pan with the middle click and also while pressing Alt. This is all what we know for now. We will continue and learn more. What we have learned so far is that we can create nodes in, I guess, in here, right? And just let me make sure that I'm in the correct. So you press tab and you should be able to add some stuff. Now that is, we're definitely in the wrong menu here. Preview, go to the object. If you double click on that, do we go there? Okay, we're gonna add a new one. We're gonna try to find the same one they're working with in the course. Let's see, viewers, inspectors, animators, anything with the geometry. Okay, give me a second. Let me check that out. Okay, I got it. We will basically, there are different types of data. And what the one we're looking for is object. And we will add on the tab here. Just click tab to add new things. You can add an animation, camera, character FX, characters. It's filed from A to Z. So the one we're looking for is geometry. So let's see, dynamic environments, file IO, geometry, and then we'll go geometry again. Nope, not in the lights again. Geometry, here we are, and you can basically decide where you want it to land, and you click it, and then here we are. We have everything here. Maybe things are not visible now. But basically this should make it visible and not visible at the same time. This should make it selectable and not selectable. And if you click it here, you will get the property menu. There's just like in a lot of programs. It's really cool that it just automatically keeps it. The translate is its position in the world. Rotation, its rotation in the world. Scale is at 1. Let's make it 10, 10, 10 because I can't see it. Where the hell is our project? Where the hell is our object? Ah, wait, did we disable that by mistake in the beginning? Let's see, do we have an object or not? For now, we don't have an object, and that is a bit different from the tutorial, but we'll just keep doing it until we see it, I guess. Yeah, something is missing. We're having troubles very early on. I must have changed something here or there. Yeah, but we will see. What happens if I add a box? It should add it. And which one is it? Is it the geo or is it the box? Okay, and if we allow us to select both here, we will still be able to change things. Yeah, but we will not be able to select them. That's correct. Hide. Yeah. So let's work with this one because I don't know where this one went. Maybe it's something to figure out later. So what happens if all of the axes are turned to 0? We'll go back to 0, just like in Unity. I just have to get used to the controls again because some controls are doing some banana stuff. All right, so we will pause and continue watching. All right, now we learned if we were to double click here, we will access some type of data that we will learn more about like beneath or under the hierarchy of that node. And so for now, I will not do anything with this. I'll just delete it. One way to so here we saw it like it was like a folder hierarchy, right? So if we double click here, now it doesn't have anything in that node. Similar to Blender. Blender does the same thing with the data. So there's a container that's like a container in Blender, and you could change its data inside to whatever you want. And so we learned we add things with tab, and one of the easier ways to add something is just to type things, right? And it will stop you if it didn't find anything, which is great. We'll add a box, and it should be right there, and we will add that box inside of the container, which works like a folder file in an Explorer. If you don't know what I mean, is, for example, wait a second, pause this for a second. I'll just take that out. So if you don't know what I mean, is, for example, if you go into the folder of documents, for example, you could go back this one, you can go back here. Okay. All right, so I will just note something down. All right, just so I can edit it later. And yeah, okay, so I got that. Now we're back. Okay, so so far we understand how to add something new. Okay, that's interesting. When you click the button between the escape and the tab, it does a jump back, which is interesting. We will see what more to learn. So yeah, let's keep watching. Just have learned in the course. So what we do now, we're currently in the container of the object, right? So let me switch to other scene, and so you can see things better. Okay, so this one should hide or unhide the object. Now that we have only one object, we can't do anything because it won't really allow us. So what we will do is we will copy that, select a copy paste, right? And now we will move one of them maybe there, right? Look how they connect. Ah, no, it's actually not moving it, right? There. Okay. And now if I hide or unhide this, it should work. Now we could see what we're hiding and unhiding. And I don't know why we could not play with both at the same time. Anyway, we could show the wireframe from the other box, for example, by hitting that, by clicking this one here, which says template, selectable template. Click to toggle the template flag. Right click to toggle the selectable template flag. Okay. For now, let's keep it like that. The yellow button, which is the outer one, is called bypass. Bypass would only work if we have a node system, right? We connect this to this, and then this one to the other one, and bypass will just work as like as if this thing didn't wasn't in the workflow. This is a good way to just test your node system. I like that bypass option. And as for this one, it will basically it locks its data, but we don't want it since we want this thing to stay procedural. I don't know what that means. That's what's been shown. So for now, that's what it is about. So we'll learn more. There's a lot to learn now because it's just the beginning. We're just starting. It's gonna be difficult to make this entertaining or anything. So stay with me. All right. So okay, so what I notice is if you would have worked before with node based tool such as our node based program, it will be kind of easier for you to understand the workflow. Like if you work with Substance Designer, you will kind of know how this works. And also, what adds on top of all of that is if you have had a 3D knowledge before, it will be easier for you to understand. So what we will do now is quite cool. So we will take the node from here. Can we just drop it like we do in Unity? Okay, we can. So what we will add is subdivide node. And this will make our box subdivided. Wait a second. Let's enable it. Our box. Uh-oh, we're running through the same problem again. Take that box away. Is this box visible? Uh-oh, what did I just do? I'm just messing everything up. Oh no. Okay, so again, we will add a box and it will be right here. Then we will add a subdivide modifier, not modifier, sorry, subdivide node as it says here. We'll add it to it, but it's not working. It is not working. Ah, we have to do it the other way around. I'm sorry, this goes down, up like that. Let's delete that. Take it from below. Okay, maybe to the right. Now we connect it to maybe a merge modifier or a node merge. And then we copy the box, we paste it, we maybe give it a different location here. And now we could merge them. This is how it works. Wait a second. Could merge here actually. We would be merging in thingy here. And the not working. Required what? What is it saying? Required subdivision net increases. Something is working well, and I don't have the knowledge to fix it. Well, that's something. Anyway, they were teaching us how we could understand the bypass. For now, it seems that I have a different version from Houdini than the one that's being used in tutorials. That's fine too. We will just keep going and learn new things. For now, we understand that the workflow is a bit similar to Substance Designer, but in the 3D world. So you have those modifiers. It's like an indestructible workflow. Okay, that's it for now. Let's keep going. Let's keep learning new things. All right, so I will go back to the watching and I see you in a bit. What we learned so far is if we have the box here and we press enter, it should give us the controls here to extend, rescale. There are different ways you could do it. But if you have done it with, let's select it again and press enter, right? And so if you press control, it will control all the axes. If you switch to alt or shift will control it from the median point, so from the middle. I'll go through everything. There's also another way to control things. Just turn those back to 0, 1, 1, 1. And so if you click the middle button and you choose here, this is your way to do snapping to a grid. And this is value of 1. This is a value of minus of 0.1. This is a value of 0.01, so it will go even less. And this is the 10, of course, and this is the 100. Okay, good. You just keep pressing the middle button. This is why Houdini is quite hard to work with for the hand. Okay, I get it now. Yeah, this is crazy. It's already triggering my pain. So yeah, maybe there is a way you could use a graphic tablet for Houdini. For now, we're just learning the very basics. Forgot to switch to practice. Okay, we'll pause and I'll see you later. So okay, all right, let's show you guys what we've learned so far. If you press tab here and you add a sphere, for example, and you will have them together right there. Well, we want to hide the box for now. Actually, click on the sphere and enable it. We can see the controls here, and we will try to understand what Houdini stands for more, and that is proceduralism and unbreakable work. What is it called? Work environment or workflow. You see, we could always edit the rows and the columns anytime. That's amazing because in a lot of 3D softwares, you can just forget about that. Okay, so one more thing is that you could, let's see, this is the type of connectivity. We will go into that later, I guess. And here we have the type of the mesh. Is it a primitive? Is it a polygon? Is it a polygon mesh? Which is usually used in 3D softwares, I guess. We will play with the values like we learned now, as such, and we will maybe even take it in the, no, that's the scale. I'm trying to get used to it. Put it right there. With the control, it also snaps, by the way. That's cool. And now we will merge those two. One more thing we want to show you is if we add a transform here, transform node right there. It's telling me, okay, that's good at least. And we click on it first and press enter. Now we could, as you can see, because we connected it to the box, we could change where the box is at. Without changing the local values here, so they're the same. And if we want to just hide and not see what it's been doing, we just bypass it. click bypass. We don't want to see what this transform node is doing, so we could see how it's affecting everything. Now, let's try that merge thing again. Let's see if it works. So we will add a merge. Here we are. And I will connect the transforms right here and the sphere right there. And it should show us that they are merged now. I don't know why I'm getting the wireframe treatment here. I hope I could understand this a little more later. Maybe there's a way to understand this a little more. 1, 2, 3 is giving us a different thing. I guess now we entered the edit mode by mistake. All right, we'll keep learning, guys. This thing is a huge mess for now, but yeah, we will learn it. If you know how to disable those things or whatever, just leave it in the comments, of course. Okay, so we will learn more. Yeah, well, let's show you all what we've learned so far. It's a bit more UI related. So first of all, we have all of this workflow done now inside one container, and it's a geometry is the right word. Container, and here we could categorize the data in such way in Houdini. I have to stop myself from saying Blender. And so yeah, you double click in here, you will go back to what you were doing inside of here, and you click here to go back in the hierarchy. Okay, so we've learned now how this kind of works, what these options are for, right? Good enough. And now we will show you a new way to manipulate your UI. And that is by, you can click and drop or click and drag it and put it like right here, for example. We can put the rest here just so we don't lose it. I don't want to have to go into the window yet. I just want to be able to browse through those menus that we had before in case I want to follow another tutorial. So here we go. This will give us more space. And what I've learned so far is, okay, now we don't have property menu anymore, but you can click P. And property menu will show up as such, and that could give you more workspace, which is cool. Just gotta give it, make it a little bigger. Now we're working similarly to how we worked in Unity, which is great. Cool. So far, so good. Yeah, that's it for now. We will keep watching. So basically, the P will just, if we would need it, we would put it. Okay. It's like a by demand or on demand type of thing. Okay, for now, good. Let's keep watching. We will learn more stuff. It will be boring in the beginning, but that is learning, guys. Like almost all of it is boring. So I'll skip you the boring parts in the YouTube video, but on the stream we will keep the boring part because there's no escape. It's all about working hard. So let's keep watching. So one of the last things we've learned in the video tutorial is that we could actually save our desktop, our UI by just going into the build here and going into save current desktop, and we will has been saved. Okay, that's great. Cool. Yeah, I think I will definitely be changing the controls. So that is one of the things I will be looking into right now. I'll just YouTube tutorial that thing. I will just look it up and check it because I'm not so happy with the controls. I'll let you know how that works after I've watched some tutorial. So far, I have learned that Houdini could really ruin your hand, especially if you already have hand problems. So I've downloaded something called X mouse button to remap the middle mouse button to another button. And we will learn now together how to make that happen. So we'll watch a tutorial and it will be back with that. Okay, so we have mouse button 4. Until now, it's not intersecting with it. I will probably change button 5 because I think that's the one that goes, that is closer to my thumb. So let's go with the middle click and apply, and then we're gonna check if it works. No, it doesn't. Still the middle mouse that does the stuff. Maybe the middle mouse here. Here we go. So we will keep it no changing and take the other one. and give it a middle click. All right. So this way I could use my hand without hurting my hand so much. How to do the other stuff? We did other alt, click, and the zoom out, zoom in. These are all okay. I just can't really do this in the middle mouse button the whole time. So it's better to do it with the other one. This way my hand will have time to relax, because the tension, if I have a lot of tension on those two, after time it will start cracking and I'll have a lot of pain. But if I have on the thumb is used to do this. Look how much muscles here to do the tension on the thumb. Thumb is to grab stuff, right? Here, it's not the best. Okay, so we have learned how to do that with thanks to Xmouse and thanks to YouTube. We'll pause and keep watching the tutorial, and this way we will learn much more about Houdini, which is super fucking exciting. All right, let's go. Start. Okay, so what we learned so far, and we'll go to the other scene here. We will go to the object, delete everything. Okay, and now we'll press tab again, and please give me a geometry again, please. All right, and double click on that, and now we're inside of that node, and now we can create, I don't know, maybe a sphere. Guess what? We'll just get to do that now. For some reason, my Houdini doesn't want to render, and that is unfortunate, but for now we'll accept it. We'll press P like we learned before, and we have polygon mesh, we have polygon, and yeah, for now we'll keep it on the polygon mesh. I have learned that if you right click on this one here, it is called, wait, let's hover over it. It's called geometry select mode, right click for options. So now we can switch between edges, which is something we're used to in other 3D softwares, primitives, which is a new concept for me for now, vertices, and points. And we see that it has shortcuts. All of those things have shortcuts. So we can go between 2, 3, 4, 1 is, I guess, the whole thing. 2 is our points. And allow me to get used to the controls here. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, I'm getting used to it. So what we've learned so far in the course is that points are everything in Houdini. It seems to be. So even when you work with particles, points are all what you need to know. You rarely work with vertices, so far I learned. And primitives also are rare, so far I learned, but we will check it out later. We will reduce this quite a bit. Yeah, let's reduce it to here. To this type of okay, good. Now we will show a new type of node. If we press tab and we click add, this is way out of my comfort zone right now, so excuse me if I'm stuttering. We have this add node here, which should now give us the option to tackle this checkbox, which says delete geometry but keep the points. And this way we will be able to work with the geometry with the points of that geometry. We will see how that will work as we continue. I just want to show you that you could actually make those points go in space by using a type of actually you could add by right click, which is quite nice, but for now I'll stick to the tab menu because I need to access the keyboard anyway. And there's something called jitter, point jitter, yeah, exactly this one. And if you add it to the current points we have, we can manipulate with those, using those things here. Actually, let's only show what's happening here. We can see that they're going everywhere like flies. And this is how I think you could create an interesting, or like create interesting effects that go from a usual sphere. You could animate it to go fast and then slow to dissipate. You could do a lot of cool things with this software, it seems. So I'm excited for that. Different seeds, of course, to give you different results. That's amazing. axis scale. We will look into all of this, guys, into all of this. But for now, we've learned that point jitter is quite powerful, and I like that. I really enjoy that. All right, I like powerful stuff. And I like to play around with data. So we will keep learning and get the powers of Houdini out of Houdini. Is that proper to say? Anyway, so let's go. All right, one cool thing is now we can actually show that bypass thing, and we can see that we're actually now manipulating or working with the sphere itself. How amazing is that? Look. And one thing that I love about the software is, all right, so if we change that back to polygon mesh, this is how indestructible this thing is. And we increase the rows and we increase the columns, we should see different values. And of course, we need, in order to see what is happening with the points, we need to disable the bypass. But for now, I just want to see what is happening to the mesh. I think it's quite interesting. Like, this is a really nice result, you guys. Yeah, we're having cool stuff. Yeah, I like that. You could... Ooh, this is going insane right now. Different seeds, different results. Axes, what do those do? I'm just playing around for now. I wonder if you could press tab here. Just like in Unity. No, it doesn't seem to be the case. Or is it? Is it the case? Oh, for now, we don't know. And this will basically... All right. So we will disable the bypass just to see our points, what is happening with them. Cool. We could always increase those by increasing the rows or the columns. Cool. What happens if this was to become a primitive? Nothing happens. Polygon, still there. Polygon mesh, still there. If it changed to... All right, I can see it going away. All right, what happens with the mesh though? Same thing. All right, so we will keep it into polygon mesh for now. We will pause the video. We'll come back with you with more tricks. All right. So one thing I forgot to show you guys is if you click the middle button on one of those, it should show you on the screen, which is now completely different on a different screen. You guys can't see it. This sucks actually because I need this to be up here. All right. If you're trying this on your PC and you middle click it, you should see a menu. Actually, let me give you a screenshot because this is weird that it's not showing you. It's just showing you on a different screen. That's not cool. All right, just give me a second. So yeah, it should show you something like this, where it shows the amount of points we're working with. Vertices, we have 0, as you can see. We have 0 primitives. Primitives are faces. All right, faces. They are called primitives. And so yeah, you get the stacks of the current thing you're clicking the middle mouse button here on. And you can see because we basically with the add node here, we have deleted every geometry that existed. Not in the world, of course, but at least... yeah, so like we deleted the geometry, so there are no primitives, which are faces. There's only points. Good. And if you click here, you should see different results again. Okay, good. So far, so good. And of course, if you enable the blue part here, which is the eye, you will only see the current status in that node here. And so on and so on. Okay, good stuff. We will now go back here, enable that. We will actually select some primitives. Here we are. And we will, let's take the select tool and we'll start clicking on some stuff. Shift to plus select. And so far I learned is that you could actually add some stuff right here on the go, and we will go with something called blast. Blast should delete something. And now we see blast have blasted the polygons here, and it kept them inside of here, which deleted the points eventually and we don't have points in that section. Let me continue the tutorial. I'll be back with you right in a second. So one thing not to forget is everything has property, right? So you have options in every single node here, and those properties can change a lot. So for example, if we go with recompute normals, it won't do anything. I guess that's something else. It's delete non-selected, and now we have everything but the actual what is it called? Help me. Everything but not what we just blasted or take it away. I'll go back to my X mouse because I'm noticing myself going between two things. So left click now will be our extra button on the mouse, and this way I will be able to go between those two, which are the most two important controls. Good. Cool so far. We'll continue watching. We'll be right back at you. So far we learned really, like, if we go here and we add a line, okay, so here we have that line, right? And we can control how long it is and how short it is, how many points are inside of it. And we will be able to see that, of course, if we have to be able to select the edges. For example, let me zoom in. I'm just getting used slowly to the controls here. Okay, so we've added 8, 11, 12 points here. However, when we click the middle mouse button, it's telling us that there are 13 points. Actually, let me screenshot that for you. We just kind of screenshot it right there and put that on top of everything because it's showing it on a different screen, which is not helping a lot, but it is what it is. So we will actually keep that. We're gonna keep that on top. I keep that. What I put on top now? Doesn't matter. So we see that this line. Okay, just gonna put it here. We're gonna select the line. We're gonna go anywhere. We have to click the middle mouse button again. It crashed it a little bit, not too hard. And we will click enter, right? Go with the points. Here we go. So now we can visualize the points pretty well. We've added 13 points. So what it said is points are there. However, there are really no concept for edges. In any other 3D software, an edge is whatever comes between two vertices, right? That's an edge. And the face is whatever comes between 3 vertices. That's a face. And one vertice is, of course, one vertice. And here in Houdini, you're dealing with other stuff, as you can see. You could still select the edges, but you won't see them in the data for some reason. So it's important to keep that in mind for now, because it might come in later. So what you could do if you still want to select the edges is go to edges here and then type T, which and then go around with the settings here, or take it around a little bit, put it in different axes. You will see that it added an edit node here. And yeah, so this is just important for us for now to know. We're not gonna go too much into details, but this is how you could manipulate the edges. However, whenever you click the middle mouse button on that, you will see that it still says one primitive. It doesn't say anything about edges. It says 13 points, one primitive. So this is interesting to know for now. It will definitely come in later. Yeah, this is just how the data works. We will know more why it works this way. So yeah, this is how it works for now. We will accept it as it is. Okay, so let's keep watching. I'll go back to watching some content and we'll be right back at you. All right, so what we learned so far is in the basic 3D modeling software, our softwares, we have access to the normals, we have access to the UVs, and we have access to the positions. Okay, so it seems that Houdini is a bit more complex than that, and we will see exactly how it is a bit more complex than that, and we'll give an example about that. So just in a bit. Okay, so the primitives and the points can have a lot of numbers of attributes. I still don't know what that means, so I'll keep going. I'm just updating you on what is happening. It's just theory for now, so there's not so much examples. Yeah, so keep that in mind. We'll probably be able to see that just in a bit. Okay, so one example to showcase that, and I'll go here. Okay, so one way to showcase that is like we've seen before. If we middle click, and now I fixed it finally, we see that we have 266 points. We have 288 primitives, which are not edges, not to be mistaken with edges, and also not to be mistaken with faces. They are something that we will understand better as we keep going. And we have 1,104 vertices. We don't know what that means yet. And if you look here, 1 point attributes, there's something that is showing us a point and 3 FLT position. I think that is the position attribute of the point. We see that there's no other attributes, no UV, no normal map, no normals, not normal maps, no normals. There's just nothing here. And one way for you to do that, or to make Houdini show you those things, is that you press the tab, and we will add a face. Face T is called, and we will connect it. Once we have connected it, we will be able to hopefully find the same setting that they're showing us here. Use accurate distance. That is automatically on. The one we're looking for is called post compute normals. So here we go, post compute normals. We still don't know what the face T node here does. We might learn about it later. For now, we're just following one by one. So now if I click middle mouse button, we will see that in the 2-point attributes, we have the normal computed or calculated, as well as the position. And the one before didn't have any normal information, but here we have brought that normal information. Why is it split? Why is it this way? We still don't know. Might have to do something with simulation. Might have to do something with effects that you could do in Houdini, where you don't need those information. Yeah. And so we will know more as we keep going. For me now, this is all quite a challenging zone for me. It's out of my comfort zone, so to speak. So we will see. We're learning together. There's a lot of failure, and we'll try to understand things as much as we can. And that's why we're having a lot of review on stuff. So to keep it in my brain. All right, so we'll pause this for now. Keep going with the course, and see ya in a bit. Now I have learned that one of the reasons Houdini doesn't really allow, or it is a bit different. It's not about if it allows or not. One of the reasons it has different attributes for the object. For example, here, when we middle click, as we saw before, we have normal attributes, we have point attributes. The reason why it can have an endless number of attributes, because we will have a lot of control over things. Because what we're doing is procedural generation. So we need to be more into, we need more control over things. Think about like shader graph. If you have a material that has been created before, that will be your 3D program, right? This is how I'm trying to understand it. 3D program is already had those 3 attributes for you: UV, normal map, points, or vertices, right? This is how it allows you to smoothen your workflow, because that's all what you need for the workflows that you use. Now take the shader graph, or the you yourself going into a shader graph, creating your own shader, you have more control over floats, over some multiplication, some logic maybe, something we've done yesterday with the VFX graph in Unity. This is a bit similar, but I won't go too much into saying that it's exactly the same because I have no knowledge yet. So one of the things we can show you now how this thing is working is when you hit tab and you've added an attribute node, attribute node. Wait, what is it called? Attribute template? Just give me a minute. Let me check it out. Attribute, no, it's not an attribute blur, that's for sure. Attribute create. So we'll do it again. It's called attribute create. Attribute create. All right. And now we're creating our own attribute. We see here that we could switch between a float value, an integer, a vector, a string, a float array, similar to what we did with the VFX graph and with the shader graph. This is us entering more into logic and into flexibility and into creation beyond what a 3D software can give you, I guess. I guess for now. So it's a bit more complex than that. So if we give that value, so a float is of course a value between 0 and 1. We'll give it as a value of 1 for now. And if we have kept this to point, float, precision, auto. All right, and now we connect it to our face T, which is connected to the sphere. And we middle click right here. We can see, actually, we need to, like, let's just call this attribute whatever we want. Jack the Generalist. Generalist. Okay, this is the Jack the Generalist attribute. We can see it right there. It's a float. So FLT stands for float. And here we see that the normal has 3 values that are float. And the points have 3 values that are also float. And we see that our Jack the Generalist value or attribute that we just added is also a float. So this is very similar to those float values, those bool values that were created in VFX graph for us to either expose them and show them outside of the engine. I'm not sure if this is the same here, but this is allowing a lot of flexibility with creation. One more thing that I've learned, actually just learned, is if you enable this, you will see the points. And if you enable this, you will see the normals. And once you bypass this, you should not be able to see the normals anymore. Actually, you start seeing them in a green color, which is weird. But if you go here and you disable them, I guess those are the points, right? No, it's still the normals. All right, I don't know why this is showing it like that, but at least we know how this works. Houdini is a super freaking complex software, so it's completely fine if we don't understand 90% of the stuff that we're doing. Actually, 99% of the stuff that we're doing. Because it's such a complex software, we need to keep an open mind to things right now, I think. And for my journey in learning this software, I have to be able to grasp those things, review them in my brain, talk about them over and over again to grasp and to understand it. Okay. So what we will do is we'll keep learning, we'll keep grinding to understanding this software, and I will share with you my understanding, my experience of learning. All right, let's keep going. We've learned a new thing. That's cool. So basically, there's something called spreadsheet. It's like an Excel spreadsheet. You right-click on any node, enable the bypass here. You click on any node, right-click, and then you look for spreadsheet. It will open you a window like an Excel. You will see numbers here, right? And some positioning. So that is the P attribute that we were looking at. If you middle click here, you'll see the P, which is a vector of 3. And these are here in the spreadsheet. We can see the values of each point in the positioning of the world. So point 1 is at -2, 0.5, and -5 in the Z, Y, X axis. Okay. So yeah, that is the spreadsheet here. If we go to categorize, if we go to filter those points, so here we have, or filter those attributes, here we have point, the point number, which we saw here. And we can filter the primitives, which should be in the number of 288 generally, or 87 plus the 0, of course. Here it is. How do I know the number? Is because if I middle click here, it shows me primitives 288 primitives. Okay, so for now we'll just focus on here, right? So we have our position attributes. If you go to the face T thing, we will start seeing, if we right click on that, we will put the spreadsheet. We will start not only seeing the positioning, but also the normal values, which are also a vector of 3, the x and the y and in the z. And if we go to the last one, we will see the generalist attribute that we put to 1, now attached to everything. Here it is, check the generalist. And that will show you how we could how we can create our own attribute, make that attribute interact with any other attribute we want. And this is the flexibility I was talking about before. We can allow any type of calculations, any type of processing in whatever we want. We can make our own calculation from those positions of those single objects or single position attributes, and we can make that output into our own value and make it interact with other things. I'm going too abstract here, but we will see that as we keep going. I'm pretty sure about it. This is amazing until now. This is exactly the type of stuff I like to learn. Exactly what keeps me going about tech art. Okay, so we know that so far. I'll keep learning. I'll see you guys in a bit, and you guys on the stream. All right, so far we have some cool tricks. All right, we'll add a tube. All right, here we go. Tube. We got it. Boom. Done. And we will see it, right? Because otherwise, why is it here? We will take its center. Let's see what happens if... Oh, now we're manipulating a lot of values together. Put it more here. Yeah, let's put it here. Let's give it, I don't know, scale, like put that down a little bit. Height, give it a height. And give us a lot of columns, things, like give us some details here. Amazing. What we will do is we will start looking into other attributes such as color. Okay, so we will create an attribute called color attribute, or color, just color. Okay, that will be right there. Here it is, and we will. So this is RGB. R, red, green, and blue. 0, 0, blue. Okay, let's see how that will work here. You can see the blue color right there. If we connect that to here, it should show us a blue sphere. Amazing. We got that so far. Cool. And then, so in order to see actually what of color attribute we have here, we see the P, that's for the position, which is the location. The normal, which is a vector, also shows location. Check the generalist, that's our own. And the CD, which is the color attribute in Houdini, which is, we can see here, it's a vector of 3. And if we check the spreadsheet, it should show us that it is 0, 0, 1. Okay, so CD R, it's not red. CD green, it's not green. CDB is all on 1. All over the points. Okay, so we have that so far. Now, what we can do is copy that attribute color, right? Make that, of course, we could always rename our stuff. So this will be blue, right? And this will be, let's say, green, okay? So we will mix green and blue together, and we'll see how that works. We'll give the tube that color. All right, and now we can see that we named it green, but we haven't actually changed the values. And this is something we have to get used to. Don't rename before you change the values. Okay, so red. Is it red? No. Is it green? Yes. Is it blue? No. Okay, good. So we have a green. And now we should be able to mix both of those values together when we add an attribute transfer. And we're not mixing, we're transferring the attribute. Now we'll see how that works by adding attribute. Is there a way to write it faster? Attribute. Wait, what happens if we write transfer? Would it be a smart enough? Yeah, it is quite smart. That's amazing. We'll add the blue here and the green here, and we will see the value here. Actually, what would happen if we see it here? Amazing, cool. And now we should be able to transfer some stuff here. Okay, first of all, how do we decide which attributes we're controlling, right? So do we get it from here? No. Do we get it from here? No. Do we get it from... Okay, so... Okay, I can see that we are controlling points. Let's go with points only. And let's give this the wireframe. No, not this one. We'll give this the wireframe. View. And what can we do to select the color? Let me check that out. I'll be right back with you. Emergency. All right, so back to, yeah. The way we can control those things is by going to the conditions menu. All right, and the conditions menu, now we will be able to see some cool stuff. For example, distance threshold. What does that mean? If we take that a bit down, we will see that it will calculate how far are those points from these points, or vice versa, through the position of the points, through that attribute, and then we'll be able to get something like that. Imagine an effect where something comes by closer and you have dissipation, like, I don't know, ants going away from it because it's fire, for example. Imagine something like that. So that's quite cool, actually. What happens if we add more points? We can see we have more resolution. Here we go. So way more points, and we will have way more resolution. So that is amazing. That's looking neat, you guys. All right, so what else conditions do we have? So that's the distance threshold. We have max sample count of 1. All right, we don't know what that means yet. Kernel radius, we still don't know what that means. You can always leave it in the comment if you know, if you have any idea. Blend, ooh, look at that, look at that. And now we will just, oh my god, that's amazing. You could blend things, that's freaking cool. All right, cool. We've learned that. We've learned how we could manipulate the attributes, and it was smart enough because we mixed the color attributes, and this is how it was able to identify that we're mixing the color right now. We're not mixing the position, we're not mixing the Jack the Generalist attributes, we're not mixing the normals, we're just mixing the color with the other values, and that's amazing. So that is only one model. There's more models. Oh my god. So that's the LN model. There's the Wivel model, I guess, which offers different things. Blend model that will do different stuff. Lynx model. All right, so yeah, we will keep going, learn those things. It's cool. Uniform model. All right, so what we will keep with the elegant model. All right, elegant model. Let's just keep it like that. I hope I'm spelling that correctly. And we'll keep learning, getting new stuff to our arsenal of knowledge. All right. Okay, we'll be back. All right, so we have learned some cool new tricks. Is if we add the add node, which could also minus, as we already know, and just drag and drop it right in the line here, and we just delete the geometry, we will end up with the point only. All right. Now let's copy that and paste it and put it right there. Right, and that should also now give us only the points of the tube. All right, so and now if we go to our attribute transfer and we view that, we should be able to see that the points are being affected as well. All right, so one way to get that checked is to disable the blend, give it more distance. Something have... is it working? Is it not working? All right, this is... I mean, I think that's due to the rendering issue I was having before. See, yeah, now we're on the right track, I guess. Yeah, here we go. We see that we in Houdini we don't really need any any faces or edges. We can just work with points just fine, as you can see here. We are in Houdini, we're working with data. We're working like technical artists, we're doing data stuff and we're data based. We're not as much as we are artists and we want the effect and the animation to work, we are also we're people who understand data. We are people who can analyze data. We are people that can work with data and make it work in our favor, make our effects work. There's much more to this. There's way much more to this to cover, and I'm all in, and I will keep persistence into learning Houdini, and I will be so excited when in the future, a year from now, I'm looking back on those tutorials that I made, not tutorials, those let's learn content that I made. I will see that, hey, I basically didn't know much, but that is the humble beginning, right? Okay, so just let me note one thing, and I will be right back with you. Here we are, just noting something down. Right? Right there. All right, so good. Let's learn more. I'll be right back with you. Okay, so far that is cool. We will try to learn more. Where did that go now? Oh my god, we have lost our thing here. Well, let's see if we could actually bring it back. Oh my god, new panel, I guess. Nope. All right, so new panel. It's this one. All right, I'll pause it again because so one way to bring it back is to go Windows and new floating tab. It's Alt Shift W if you want the shortcut or the hotkey. And now we will take that thing. We will put it right where it was. Amazing. And now we will just delete this and goodbye. So again, the more we do it, the better we get, right? So a geo, all right, so for geometry. And we'll add now something called a grid. A grid is like a plane. And here we are. Cool, Alt, and just getting used to the controls one by one. And zoom out a little bit. Cool, the thing works now. It didn't work before. All right, amazing. We can press P for properties. And we will start doing some stuff. Give me 100 in the rows and 100 in the columns. Okay, now we have this detailed thing that we just created. More data to work with is fun, you guys. All right, that's a lot of stuff. You probably can't see it. So let's reduce a little bit. All right, that looks cool, I guess. And now we will be introduced to VEX. VEX, it's the language, it's the programming language for Houdini. Everything in the data manipulation happens in VEX, and there's two ways to do it. One is code, and the other one is visual. We will see both. First, we will start with the code. The code says, or we can get the code or play with the code through something called attribute Wrangler. Or attribute Wrangler. Wrangle or Wrangler? Wrangle, or attribute Wrangle. Okay, and the attribute Wrangle, you can hook our grid to any of those things. We can see that there are different names to them. Geometry to process with Wrangle, and ancillary input 0.1, ancillary input 0.2, ancillary input 0.3. We'll know more about those, I guess, later. For now, we will write a code that will make us manipulate that thing. And to write that code, you need to click on the attribute Wrangle, and you will get that like command box here where you could write stuff. All right, I'm not gonna go too much into details because I didn't even understand what was happening. But if you write V for vertex at somewhere at an attribute, so for example, the P, which will be the point attribute, is equal to vertex of points. And now we can say plus set, and now we would know what that means. And now we have a column, and we add 0, 5, and 0. And now we let it calculate. Let's see what happened here. Not much did it now. All right, let's get that number up in the sky. What happened here? Not much. Okay, let me try to reassist. Just just like under. All right, so what we did here is a mistake, obviously. And we will try to understand what else happened in that tutorial just to understand what is going on. Okay, we'll be right back. So each programming language has its own rules, set of rules, okay? So here we need, after the comma, actually that is not a comma. We need a comma, so that's the first mistake. Not a point, a comma. All right, and now we will be able to play that code after we add the semi, what is it called? I don't know what that is called. Give me a second just to review my English language knowledge. All right, so it is called semicolon. That's good. And that is how will the thing work for us now. And hopefully it does work. Let's see. Nothing has changed as of yet. I'll keep looking and try to see what is not working. I'll let you. All right, so what I discovered is, of course, we need to be able to see it. And first we have to click on the eye here, which you will see better if I switch this here. So we need to click on the eye. And now we will see if we change any value here, like so, for example, at 10, we will see the thing disappear and going up, upwards. All right, so far, we are able to manipulate the vertice position of the grid, and we put it 10 upwards. That is one way to do it. We'll say different ways to do it, and I'll be right back with you. All right. All right, so in practice, this is the vex. This is how you add a vex to your geometry, or how to add vex to any type of thing that you want to create. And if you want to work with something different, where you don't use the code and you want to use something visual, I herefore introduce you to the point VOP. Point VOP. VOP. All right. Not VEX, but VOP. All right. So like VIP, point VIP, or VOP to be more precise. All right. So now we connected it. What do we need to go inside of this thing? Double click. Just go double click and you get into the point VOP that we just created. Go back to geometry, double click, and then you're back here. We see this and we see this. One is called geometry VOP global one. So those are all the attributes we could manipulate that we could use with the code. We see a similar one that is called P and V. This is very similar to what we were working with and how we added it now. All right, we still don't know the language, the VEX language, but basically the logic of what we were writing here is, hey, Houdini, please check the vertices of each point, I guess, because they now equal 0, 10, 0. This is what we cannot did. That's my understanding of it. It could be something completely different. Leave it in the comment if it's not correct. Okay, so if we double click now here, we basically need to do the same thing. Take the P value and have it add something, right? So we need an add. All right, so here we are adding. We're adding something. But as we can see, similar to the shader graph, we need some sort of float or of a number, right? And we know that in programming, there are different kind of numbers. There are floats, there are integers, there are vectors, etc. So what we do to introduce those things in the VOP is we go with tab, and then we add constant. constant right there. Then we go up there and we choose if this is a float, if this is an integer, if it's a toggle, and all the other types. Oh my god, so many types of information. We'll go with the value, with the float value. And that is the 10. Actually, no, this is not a float value. Let's just be clear. Because if we go back to our geo and we go right inside of here and we start seeing that there are 3 numbers, right? Then we start to understand that this is a vector 3, right? So if we go right inside of here and we basically double click on it, and if this constant were to be a float, it wouldn't know what to do. So it will take its all of its values, it will put it into the x, y, and the z, which will not do us any favor if we want to control just one vertice, or one axis. So we will take that and we'll change the value to 3 floats. So basically a vector. Amazing. And in order to access the same effect, in order to create the same effect, we'll put that in the input. Oh, no. We will not put it in the input one. No, we won't do that. We will put the P in the input one, okay? And then we'll put that now the constant in the input too. So what we're doing is that we're adding the value of the P, which is currently on 0, 0, 0, 0. And the reason we are not seeing it because we're not enabling the view. Here it is. Okay, now we're getting things a little better. We're getting into the introduction of Houdini. We can expand from here, and you will be, I think we will be shocked how much we will expand from here. And for that, I'm very excited. So for now, I will keep that away. We'll only work with the VOPs. So the current value for the P is 0, 0, 0 for all them. Not all of them, but at least for the middle one, okay? And so what we will do is, all right, not so. What I'm trying to say is, whatever values we're having here, which we can visualize in the spreadsheet. Okay, so here we are. We have the values of all the X points, V points in the Y, V points in the Z, as you can see. And so when we add anything to the X, we see that it will add that value on all of those values. Same thing on the 0. And right now the values are on the 0 only in the Y axis. That's what I was trying to say. I wasn't trying to... All right, I said it, but this is what I meant. So now that we add a 10 to the input 2, it will add 10 to all the vertices. And now we'll see how that will work if we connect it to the P. And fingers crossed. Here we are. We finally understood something. We finally were able to create something with logic. Amazing. That's our first baby step. From here, understanding this is so crucial to understand what will come after. All right, that's amazing. Cool intro for now. We will pause and learn more. Keep grinding until we get this thing understood. All right, see you in a bit. Just a little thing before I go. The cool thing is about working in this is you can manipulate the values just like here. Isn't that cool? All right, that's amazing. I really like that. I think that's cool. Yeah, there's not more to say other than I'm super excited. I'll see you in a bit. All right, I got real excited right now. There's some cool stuff going on. First of all, what I really want to show you is, hey, if you're used to the VEX, if you're used to the code, one way to view the VOP thing in code, maybe for you to reference in understanding VEX further, is that you could right-click on the VOP node here, and it should show you show node information. Wait a second. View dependencies. Save. Show asset manager. All right. So you go to VEX/VOP options and then view VEX code. And you see it's a huge thing because now it's looking into everything that is offered on in that VOP. And one of the things that you will see is that what we did is right there. So you would see that code produced by constant. We have our constant value, and that it's actually adding an add and of a value, and that value is referenced here equals that one. Yeah, so just if you're curious how does that work, it's right there. Right click VAX/VOP options VEX or VEX code. All right, so double click on that, and now we can add some cool stuff. So if we add a turbulent noise, it doesn't work anything different than turbulent. We'll disconnect our add, and we will connect this turbulent noise to our color so we could view it. And now we can't view anything because it has no data to reference, and the only, or no attribute to reference, and the only attribute we have right now is actually the position. Now we see that we are seeing a texture, a noise texture, right there. And if we go back to the goal, to the geo, and here you could actually make that less. You can make the resolution less or even more. Say for example, you want it to be crisp. You will add more details by adding 100 here and 100 here. Now we will be able to see that picture clearly. For now, we'll go with 50-50, just for whatever. Yeah, to keep it low res is all good. And what we will do now is not play with the color, but play with other values just to see and experiment with things. So if this was to be the P, the position, we see that things are getting quite weird. Why is that? Well, quite simple, because there are not a float value. And we will see how we can fix that in a bit. I'll be right back with you guys. All right, let's see. All right. It makes a lot of sense. The reason why it's not working is because it's taking all the position data here, not adding it to anything, and just putting it into a noise texture or into a noise value, and that will just not work. So what we will do is disconnect this. Oh, wait, we'll just click here, and wait. Now we'll click right there, and it will be gone. Okay, so what we will do is we will add that right there. Now we're adding right on top of the position value, and we'll put that into the position, to the point. All right, and here we see the thing going in the X, in the Y, and in the Z. I'm pretty sure there's a way to split that. We'll keep looking and see if we could split it in different ways. And so we will keep learning. All right. One of the reasons why this is not working for us is because, as I thought, this is a float value. And guess what, guys? We need a 3D float. And in the way you could make that happen is if you click on any of those guys, like in the nodes, you will be able to actually access their data. All right. So the way you would do that is access its data, access its type. Right here, we could change a couple of things, make the frequency a bit different. We could see that, oh my god, this thing is going way too extreme. All right, so what we would do is, since this is a float, we need it to be a 3D noise. And once it becomes a 3D noise, things will start making a bit more sense. All right, so let's play with those values until we try to get what it's doing. So -10 here, nothing will happen. We'll keep that on 10 then. We'll keep that. Let's try -10 here. All right, and we see some really weird stuff going on. Maybe we want to avoid that. Here you go. Now we have some weird stuff going on, but actually some cool weird stuff. I can see this noise happening when you want to create some kind of landscape. I could be wrong, but we will see. For now, 0.3 might be a good value. Let's try 0.4 might be a good value. We can see that the noise texture is being stretched right now, just like it's being stretched super hard. We'll try 0.6 right now to bring that stretch back. The frequency here, try 20. And if we want to visualize that, we'll put it into the color just to see what is happening in here. Yeah, this is looking like a cool skin of a creature. Yeah, I can see it happening. It looks really cool. And zero modeling was done. Just a couple of clicks and we have something going on for us. All right, that's amazing. We will for sure not stay here. And so we will try to play with other stuff. All right, I kind of feel better if if I could see the color or the texture itself, it gives me a better idea. So amplitude gives that position. And we see when we change it from 1D, it was black and white, to 3D, it becomes RGB, and there are different type of colors in there, plus the intensity of each color. Okay, so what does that do? The attenuation, that is basically the opacity of that effect. It gives, so you could have it form in real time. And turbulence is making that value, I guess. Trying to understand this a little better. Turbulence, what is it doing? Is it making it super sharp, like contrast wise? Yeah, it's making it super sharp. All right, so cool stuff. It's all math, you guys, and that's really cool. Okay, so far we understand what that means. If we give this a bit of a value here, what would it change? Not much. Okay, so that could be because it's a 3D object. Yeah, okay, makes a lot of sense. And now we'll continue learning stuff. I'll take the color value here out so we could still see what is happening. So far so cool. All right, we keep learning and we'll be right back at you. Let's play with it a little more. There are more stuff that we could do. So what we have right now is basically very strict values. So let's go 333. Okay, so now we have a non-stretched noise. All right, so what we could do is, instead of playing with those only, we could actually use the middle mouse button like we did before and play with them as such. Let's take it into the 1. Let's see what will happen if a nice value like here. And here the same. Let's see what would happen if we play with it that way. Okay, and that is what we're playing with now is the roughness. This one should make that. What happens if we go way overboard? Okay, so we know what that means, the attenuation. Basically taking it to its original shape. I feel like we need a bit more values here, 100 and 100, in order to see what is happening. And all right, so let's check that out. Is there a way I could hide those? I could hide the primitives. I don't see them. Not sure. Oh my god, my hand starts hurting, guys. Yeah, we should have precautions from Houdini when we work. I'll just get used to that slowly. There's a lot of clicking, that's for sure, and a lot of panning. Cool. We'll check that out later. Attribute. Get that done. Get that a bit more down. Yeah, you can see the pimples right now, and we will get the roughness different value. It's funny when it goes back to 0. Yeah, or upwards actually. It's quite insane. All right, so let's go back down. This looks good for now. This looks cool for now. All right, I'm just getting used to not using my middle finger at all, so my hands won't hurting. I get used to it so many times, and here as well, here as well. What I will do as well is, hey, you know what? Middle mouse button, you don't work anymore. I'll just disable it because I should not really click that thing because it just hurts. Okay, I'll be right back with you. So we learned so far that proceduralism is a bit more complex than a tool with sliders. And then I mean by that is you could definitely that for later. So for example, if there's a house tool that would make you generate houses, it doesn't work as you might think it would work. That's what I'm trying to say. So let's try to uncover that one by one. So if we create a geometry, we go inside and then we we create grid again. Here's our little happy grid. We will view it. Actually, let's hide that one. Go inside here. We disabled my middle mouse button, so things will be a bit weird. So yeah, so we will enable something here with those numbers right there, and these will show us how many primitives are there. So from 0 to 8, and from exactly 8 by 8 or 8 by 10 will give us 80. And actually 9 by 9. This is a 9 by 9. Or is it 10 by 10? Just look it up together. Yeah. This is the size. Yeah, exactly. Rows are 10. 10 rows. But wait, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If we have added 10 rows. The rows, it's calculating from here. Okay, so it will give us only 8 primitives. It makes sense. Okay. So, one way, logically, you would think to delete, for example, the inside material to create a wall is to use the blast command that or node that we had before, right? So if we select the select tool, we just drag and drop right there, and then we tab blast this thing, get it off my face, right? The problem with that is if you click on the blast, you can see that the information it's calculating is through primitive numbers. So the problem with that is if we to make this if we to give this more rows, you'll see the problem already. If you build so many tools after that and you have that right there as a problem, you will have a huge thing to fix, so to speak. Now that does not mean that the blast is not correct. The blast is a solution for a problem. The procedural tool that you want to create is it's a solution to a problem, but it contains many other problems. So that's what I understand so far. So because it creates a lot of problems and you need to solve each one of them, that just does not mean that the blast tool is always wrong. You just need to know what the blast tool does, and each tool does, and how it affects the rest of the tools. So yeah, you have to keep a track on which tools you're using to create the rest of the stuff. So for example, if we add now extrusion, I guess there is one, right? Extract, yes, this one. Let's see if it's correct or not. And now we hit enter, I guess. Wait, okay. That's not the one. Let's check for poly extrude. All right, here we are. Now we'll connect it. No, wait a second. Connect it right here, and here we have a place to play with those tools, and we will enable it. And now we see that we have extruded this, right? So that's cool. But if we were to change the grid, again, we have that problem. The same thing that we built in the beginning that was completely wrong, because it's calculating primitives. But one of the ways you could go around that is another solution, but that doesn't put the blast in the wrong solution. I don't want to get too much into details because I want to learn other stuff, but it's good to have in mind that, hey, this thing is a bit more complex, and you might not always need to create a procedural tool for all things. Procedural tool is basically making it's creating a lot of solution to a lot of problems, and some of the work of proceduralism is done through creating simpler solutions to simpler problems. That's what I get so far. We will learn more. Alright, so we wrapped the theory about that part, and now we will put it to practice. So what we will do is create a new geometry. Alright, so we'll just add a new geometry. Here we go. Double click on that, and then we will add a line like we did before. Here we are with the line. Okay. Wait, did I now disable everything related to the middle mouse button, even the scroll? I mean, did we? Just sometimes the scroll doesn't work, which is fine. Okay. So, where are we now? Grid control. We didn't have that before. It doesn't matter for now. Let's make it a bit more lengthy and let's give it, I don't know, like 80 points. We will view those points right there. Good. And now we will connect it to POV. What is it called? Let me get that again. Point POV. Okay, POV point VOP, not POV VOP. VOP. All right. So let's connect that to the first and go inside and start creating. Put this a little bit here to the left. I mean, come on. All right. So just my hand. My hand hurts a little bit, but it should be fine. Okay. Now we will start working on things. Let's take the position. So we will introduce two values we didn't introduce before. One is called float to float to, where is it? Float to integer, float to metric, float to vector, and vector to float. Vector to float. Do that. Amazing. And we will see now how this will affect things. First of all, we will have our position vector. Let's connect just all the dots for now. So we see how that works. We'll connect the vector back to the P here. So we basically are bridging now everything just so it works. What we can do is we can take that out and see what we are messing with. Uh-oh. That stuff. So we have converted the vector to 3 values. That's all. We just have splitted it so far. And we took we took that split, we split it again back to the vector to the P. So there will be a lot of operations in between. We can already see that. So let's take those two to the left. Let's take those two to the right. Okay, so far so good. Let's just put them a bit more down. No, just a bit more down. Okay, and now we will add a new. Oh, that's cool. Oh, we can zoom out like this. That's amazing. Okay, so we will add a new thing called constant, just a normal constant of a value, and we will connect that value right there. And now we will see if that value was to change, and we go back to the geo and enable the view in order to see it. We'll double click on that and start manipulating that thing, and we can see that it is going in space. R sucks. Will suck. Okay, so here we are. There. Why is it changing all the time, dude? Come on, please. It doesn't matter. The scroll doesn't work now anymore for some reason. I need to have a bathroom break. I'll be right back with you. Okay, so we're back at it. Now we know what would happen if we add just a normal constant to it. It would just move in the float one axis, which will be the x-axis. Okay. We still don't know what those do yet. If we read about it, bypass, we know what the bypass is, and this one is debug, and this one gives info about what the constant thing does. Okay, that's good. That means if we need to read more about things, we could just go to the info there. All right, so what I will do is I will delete this, follow the tutorial 1-to-1, of course, and we'll add a ramp or ramps, and what the ramps do. Okay, let's read about it a little bit. Ramps, let's see, ramps, VOP, click, enter comment, time dependent, no. Contains 7, there's not much really, a lot of infos here. Alright, good. This is the other type of info, it's not like the infos of the of the engine or whatever, like documentation. I'll write, so I have refreshed my memory a little bit. So what we could do, and we'll see it happening live right now, is that if I would connect a y value into the x value, we will see it going diagonally here. And we don't want that to happen right now. We want it to happen through the ramp. So now we just explained essentially what we want to do. And what we will do, and the way we will do it is that we will connect the y value into the u here. And we'll take that amount into the y-axis. Now we see some weird stuff going on, which is basically what we want to do anyway. But maybe we connect it to the offset actually. Wait a second. Yeah, okay, so maybe we connect it to the offset. Let's check, let's make a quick check. Okay, so first of all, I think we've picked the wrong type of ramps. These are ramps that go like, they have a certain frequency. They happen all over the time. If we go like zoom in here, we'll see them happening over and over again. They have a certain frequency and they have a certain floor value. See, okay, so that thing we don't want. Actually, show you. We're just gonna put it in the U. Here we have it. So the reason why we didn't see it before is because it did the right value. Yeah, so those ramps are doing those kind of values, right? Wait a second, let's pick the blur value a bit more. So it has, yeah, it has more curvy feature to it. Okay, so this is it. We will delete the ramps. We will introduce the ramp. So it's just ramp, no ramps, ramp parameter, I guess. Yes, and we will connect this one. Delete that connection to the that we had before, and we'll connect it again right in. Okay, and now we see that we have that ramp controlling things, and it's like a gradient value that we could control. We could add new values. I'm just speculating right here right now. Can we copy and paste? Can we add one? Yes, we can. See how that will affect everything. Fatal error, data save too, whatever. Okay, thank you so much for crashing. Do you want to send crash reports? No. Oh my god, it crashed on me. Okay, fun. We'll pause. All right, so it crashed on us and we were able to retrieve it. The way you retrieve the file as you go to File, and then you go to Open, and you make sure that you click on temp right there and type in Houdini or H. All right, so we have a search bar here, as you can see. So just type Houd. It should take you to the Houdini temp, and it should be the last one you did. So what we will do now is actually save it. We will save that file. The select tool, save the file, save as. And I'll take it down a little bit to save it wherever I want. So we'll go right there and we'll go to document and to create a folder. This one called Let's Learn Houdini. Houdini. All right. Go inside. We call this thing Basics #1. So still #1. There will be more files to go, but we saved this one now. So even if it crashes, we'll at least have a name. We'll go back to view our line. And the way we could control the ramp is now from the outside, which just clicking here. And hopefully this doesn't crash now. Here we go. We can see that we're manipulating the value. We're adding a value, for example. We're putting it here and giving it a color of white. So 11111. And we can play with the position. We can do different things. Okay, so now this point is, it's determining a lot of things for us. And we can see as it goes to the end, Yeah. Okay, so that is what a ramp does. We will keep playing with it. See what happens if we keep, you know, adding more stuff. Maybe um, making it automate some certain effect. We're just trying to understand the data, right? Right now we have a good understanding about what the P is for, how we can convert that vector to float, and how we can manipulate the values of that. Okay, so far so good. We will keep learning. So I'll pause it. All right, cool beans. There are some new tricks to watch out for or check out, actually. Let's take that a little down, like take it a little bit here. Let's play with some stuff. First of all, we think that value is a bit too extreme. So we will run it through a filter of some sort, and that filter will be a multiply function node, call it multiply node. So we will add that actually. So either right click or tap and add multiply. Here we are. The way we want this to work is very similar to the VFX graph that we have worked with and the shader graph we've worked with in Unity, and that is to expose a certain value. So you could do that by clicking right click here and promote. Second, I'm not seeing it, so I will play it back just quickly. Okay, so if we go on the input right there, it's not doing it. How can we do this? Okay, give me a second. I will try to look it up here. All right, so back to you guys. We don't right click here. We have the mouse button and we promote a parameter, and this one should be actually shown right there. Okay, so okay, wait a second. It should be shown right here. Let's check it out. Input number 2. And now it should, as we see, affect it. Okay, what we will do is revert the colors here, make this the black one. We're just gonna make it black and close it. And now we can see that one side can favor the other. And the multiplier amount is deciding how far or how less this goes. Okay. So far so good. I don't know why it decides to actually not do it on the whole line. That is a bit weird. If this was to be a 40 point, it's not working. Okay, it doesn't want to work. I don't know why though. For now, it is like that. I will try to learn more about that later. But for now, to understand what we're doing, or what we did so far, is that we split the value of the position of the points, and we have split them to 3 to their original values. We have taken the z value, given it to the z value. We have taken the y value, we've given it to the y value, and we've also taken the y value itself, and we've connected it to a ramp. A ramp is nothing else but a value that can control this. So we can see why this is happening. And we connected the ramp into a multiplier, which we exposed one of its values into a parameter, and we connected it back to the z, and now we're getting this value right here. Okay, amazing. So far so good. And then we connected it back to the p. Good. A bit similar to the shader graph, a bit similar to the VFX graph, not too similar, of course. We're manipulating actual points, we're manipulating geometry, so it's a bit different. Still the same type of logic of computer logic. Let's keep it like that. Okay, we'll pause, we'll learn more, and I'll be right back at you. Okay, so we've learned some new tricks. Some of them are quite interesting. What I haven't noticed yet is that we are actually creating something here, and if you've ever played with a 3D program, you can make a curve and make that curve like create a mesh if it spins around itself, and this is how you create a cup, for example, or you create a vase. And we're doing something very similar here, which is quite cool. So what I will do is I'll go a step back. Is there a way that you can save this? I think it saves automatically. Okay, so what I will do is I'll make something look like a vase. and we will play with a factor here. You see it takes it up and down, and we will add a node now. How to add a node, a quicker way to add a node. Okay, and now we will play with this a little bit. Let's give this a black color and make it far away from this. Actually, let's give it a gray color like here. It's too gray, isn't it? Factor here. We're just gonna create a very simple face shape, so I'm gonna keep it up like that. And here we'll add another value. Gonna go there. Yeah, like this gray. How does it shape this thing up? Here we are. Work with me. On now. Okay, so we want to create something. All right, I'm gonna paint it so we see the goal that we want. I would like to create something like this. All right. Yeah, this fair. Yeah, okay. Let's just keep this image now here. And we will work on it. Actually, make it a bit smaller so y'all can see it. Okay, good. We will work on that shape now. So it goes 0 black, right? And then extreme white, and then again black. So we will add that. What is the way to add one on the go? Shift select some. We don't want shift. Shift is not good. Okay, how to get rid of the shift? With the alt, you get rid of the shift. This is here, the white is here, so we're creating that value. Maybe we want it to go slowly. Touch, yeah, this is pretty nice, pretty nice. Okay, then it goes for quite a while as such, and then it makes that transition here, and then that transition is quite harsh. So what we will do is make it less harsh. So we'll give it a less of a harsh color, and then give it. We will go right click. Wait. We'll just click here. We will give this a darker color. Now it's a value as such. We don't want it to go too much to the middle, and then it should go back that color. Not too much though, right? Why is it not going all the way up, guys? What is happening in here? If we go inside, why is this not taking it all the way up? If it's taking the vectors here, putting the ramp, what happens if I just delete those here? Keep it white. How would that work? That is quite weird. That is not working well with us here. What am I missing, you guys? What am I missing here? The length, you think, is the height here a problem? Let's check that out. So length, the longer I make it, the more problematic it is. So the length is definitely a problem. We have solved that problem. And I don't like how deep this is. Let's work on density. Maybe something like that. Amazing. I wanted to kind of do this right at the end like this. And now we will view this thing. All right, so from the side. Okay, for now, good enough. We'll try to change the factor. This factor determines a lot of the stuff. I would love it to add the blur effect that we have experienced with the experimented with, excuse me. With the other thing that we had. For now, this should do the job. So what we will add is something called Revolve modifier. So let's add that right now, Revolve node. That will revolve around it. And that should do the trick. Before we do this, let's save. And here we go. And we got something going on. Let's change the shading to flat shaded. Why are we not getting mesh here? Why are we getting no render here? Flat wired. Things shade, also nothing. Maybe it's made to be like that. We will see. Maybe there's an option we could do here to make this happen. So the more division there are, the better it's gonna be. The revolve type closed, yes, and surface type quad, quad, quad real. Okay, so I guess you can make them into triangles instead, or rows and column, or columns only. Cool. Or rows only. That's also cool. Or points only. Also nice. Let's give it here right now. Automatic. Let's make it a polygon. Maybe a billionaire. Okay, so we're just trying different stuff right now. We will see why it's not creating a mesh in a sec. So I'll just pause the video and you guys will be right back at you. I will be watching more content and we'll solve this. So there was a way to avoid the actual thickness problem that we had. Oh, look, we have texture thing. Good. Well, this one, what does this do? Move it to? There is a way to not worry about the thickness so much. And that is to add a transform. To add a transform node. Transform node. Wait, and we'll just, if you take the translate in one of the axes, manipulate it as such that where you could increase thickness or decrease. Actually, this is good. We could even keep it outside of the thingy. Let's see how we can close those gaps. Maybe we could add maybe the one way to do it is take this a bit down and give that black. Or do you think, I mean, this does not look super bad, but yeah, I think there's a better ways to do it. There are better ways to do it. For now, this is acceptable. I'll go with it just to learn. We're just learning. We're not doing a portfolio piece. So yeah, we're just learning for now. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's get our knowledge a bit more further detailed. So let's play around with the parameters that we just created. So we see the more we multiply it, the bigger the vase gets, or more ridiculous it gets actually. And the less, so I think the sweet value is 0.3. And I think it became like clear right now that whatever we manipulate in that value will become like us working on that vase with our fingers, right? Right. So the black will be finger in as it spins, such. So you can see how that value transfers as it goes. It's amazing. This thing works. Yeah, the bigger the contrast between the values, the bigger the mess, of course. We'll just control Z the things we've created. This is not a vase tutorial. It's not a vase course that I'm following. It's a Houdini basics course. So we'll just try to understand those things. However, I want this thing to be gone. This texture, checker texture needs to be gone, really. Trying to figure out how it go away. Let's try to shade smooth. See if this look good. Yeah, definitely there in the top it's not doing what I wanted to do, but for now I just don't know how to get rid of that checker texture thingy right here. All right, we got it. Okay, so this thing adds a checker texture. Yeah, so far so good stuff, you guys. Was fun. So let's keep going. All right, so we were actually a bit worried about the bottom part here, that it's open. So at one point I was like, what do we do there? And one answer to do is something called Polyfill. What did we do? I mistaken it with other programs. How do you add nodes in those programs? So I'm just gonna put the mic a bit closer to my mouth. Polyfill. And this thing should give us a nice fill. We just first need to change the shade mode to wire. And we see it filled it. However, it's doing some shenanigans. So one way to fix this, I guess, is to go in the properties of that node. And it's a bit smaller. And let's go with the smooth here. Okay. What if okay, no smooth. All right, so let's try triangles. That won't work too. Triangle fan, this would work perfectly. Let's see what else is there. Quadratule fan, this will work also as well. Grid, that will work best, I think. So let's take the, okay, that's the orientation of this. The inner or outside of the, I think I will put it inside. And the strength, okay. It's way too inside for now. Like, this is fine. Now we go back, up, touch. And yeah, it's closing it also on the top. Maybe there's a way we could manipulate that so it doesn't happen. As for now, it should be okay. Just to learn, just for the sake of learning, it's okay. Let's see what else we could do. And by that, we need to learn. Okay, I should really remember to put the practice thing back again because the overlays are interfering with it too much. Okay, so just a review if you haven't seen it. Polyfill, then you could change right there into the grid and you could change the values of the smooth, either choose to smooth it or not, and just play with those parameters until you get the deserve or the values you wish for. And now if we would to change the points here, we see that we're going into the low poly version of that. And just like that, this thing is amazing. I really like working here with this amazing software. So let's keep working with it. I feel like this thing, the length won't really help us much for now, but I think there might be a way to manipulate the length and take it with it. However, the transform now, that is the thing that determines the thickness. The revolver is the one that determines the segments and divisions. So if we make the divisions quite more, we will see that we have more resolution. Okay, good stuff for now. We will pause and I will learn and you guys will watch on the stream. All right, I'm just testing a new shortcut and it works. Amazing, cool. So let's try that out. Here we go, just continue the test. Good, unpause. All right, so there are new things to learn. We will start with creating a circle. And this circle should be, here we see it, circle right there, right? And this circle should be on polygon, good. And what I learned so far is if you toggle the W button, just press it, it should switch between wireframe and the other frame that you have. All right, so far so good. Let's keep learning. So if we play with the division here, we see that we can add more stuff to our thing. If we play with the scale, we can make it bigger, makes sense. If we make the arc here, arc angle to 180, and it's saving, is it not saving? Why is it taking so long? Let me try to think. What if this was 180? What if this was 90? Things are not really changing much. So what are we doing here? Closed one. Okay, 180. Let's see. Wait, whoa, now it's gone entirely. Okay, what was that? Let's see. Open arc. Here we go. Here we go. That's what we're looking for. And now it's working. Okay, I'll keep watching and see you guys in a bit. So what I learned so far is that we could add something called Poly Extrude, which is something we played with before. So it's not completely new to us. Poly Extrude, okay, and here we have it. And if we connect the Poly Extrude, we will be able to extrude that thing outside, hopefully. Okay, wait, let's see which option we would go with. Distance, here we go. What is the inset does? For now, we don't know. The twist, okay, we don't need any twist. The division is interesting. Okay, that's cool. That adds edge loops inside. What else is there, you guys? Let's keep it as it is for now. I feel like the cool thing, of course, about the thing about proceduralism is that you could always make this more, you could always play with it, and that's amazing. I really love that feature. Okay, cool. So far we got that, and if we hit the select button and the 2 button, we should be able to select the vertices or the edges per. No, we selected the edge, the points. 1 selects the object, 2 selects points, 3 selects edges, and if we hold Shift, we should be able to select the loop. But what if we just want the upper loop? So Shift A, pressing Shift A, and so select here, Shift A, and you take the point you want, it will select that. Okay. So here, Shift A until there, it was selected for us. Isn't that amazing? Okay, so far, that's all what we know. We have to get some more knowledge. I'll be right back, you guys on YouTube, and the guys with the stream will stay with me. All right, so let me remember the short keys that we just created. That could definitely be challenging, but we will follow along and see if I can remember all of those things that I just learned. First of all, Ctrl Z and see if the select thing could still be there. As we did before, if you press tab and you add an extrusion, for example, extrude, pull extrude this one, and now you add some distance. We see like we have a little distance here. What we could do is enable transform extrude front, and this will give us the the axes here. We could play with the gizmos here, but let's actually just play with the numbers. It's safer that way. So scale, let's see if we make this one 0. What would happen? We don't want that. We don't want to play with that. Actually, one way to play with it interactively is this way. We see this is the thickness basically, so it's doing nothing. And maybe the last one is the one we're looking for. Here we go. So if we to put this to 0 as such, and now we take the translate and we put it upwards as such, we check if it's, yeah, it is correct. Cool. Zoom out. Looking good. Looking amazing. We will take it more upwards. All right. And then, we didn't want that. So Control Z this. And now we will actually select the outer edges by taking the select tool and pressing, okay, taking the select tool. And now we should be able to press Shift, double click. We have selected the loop. And my guess is we could add a Poly Extrude to that. I'm already getting used to it, getting used to the workflow. And if we to cancel this and now transform extrude again, and we go on the translate in one of those axes, not this one, of course, maybe this one. Here we go. And now we have thickness. One way to do this a bit more properly maybe would have been to actually take the primitives, which are the faces as we have learned so far, and extrude those. Let me check about that. Let me see how they did it, and maybe we could do that again. All right, so get used to the shortcut. We definitely have done it a bit different, so I think that could be a problem for the future. So let's Control Z stuff. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, and let's actually get rid of the extrude in general. And now we just add the extrude, the new one, the poly extrude, just right there, and see how that would work. Because I think it would select all the faces, the primitives, sorry, and it should work with it now. If we to play with extrude in this way, however. Is it because we're not seeing it? Yes, that is correct. However, we also don't see the front face, which is something I don't quite like. We have definitely done something wrong here. Let's choose all the faces, which is the 4. Choose everything. And now let's type extrude. We just go to the history and we will click that right there. And we will transform and either in the... that was the problem. We didn't put it in the front. Should have put it... no, still a problem. So what are we getting here? Why is this a problem now? What is happening? I mean, I know one of the faces is flipped, right? I wonder, maybe, but we can still see both faces, so that's quite weird. The way they do it is a bit different, so I will assume. All right, so what we were missing the whole time, it was just one checkbox. It was right there, output back, and this should have closed it for us. All right, so learn the hard way, right? So it's all fine. So far we have a nice thing that could follow it as long as it has the same division. And it could follow everything else, the size, I guess the angle as well. Yeah, it could follow, but let's keep it on 180 for now. I wonder how it would look like if it was 360. It's not good. Not good. Let's just give it a 180. 180 like that, looking good. Still getting used to those controls. Okay, let's keep going. What we will do right now is add the columns to this arc. Right, so first of all, I need to get used to those controls really bad at it still. So what we'll do is right now, we'll add a cube actually. So a box, we'll go with a box, just a normal box. Here we are, box. Please let us see the box while we only see the wireframe of the column. Okay, so far so good. We'll use control now. Control won't work for us. So it will go back. We'll press enter. And we will manipulate the size from right over here by the by the middle mouse button. Is there I'm just gonna take that view here. I bet there's a way where you could put this into what is it called, upper view, so to speak. And this one will be, I don't know, 1.5. Let's see how that looks like. It looks cool. We will definitely need it to be a bit more thick. Not in that way, in the other way. Okay, so thick here, 7. Too thick. We'll go to 5 or 4. Might work. It might work for us. And now the translation or the... All right, we'll just take it by hand then. It's fine. That should work too. Here. All right. Control. Nice. It's working very nicely. I wish there was an isometric view, but for now, this should do the job. All right. So we'll just put it like right there and try to just eyeball it and see if it works. All right. This works good. Works nicely. I think it does have to be a bit, just a tiny little bit thicker, right? So 4.5 and 3.5. All right, so now we have it a bit thicker. Maybe we can make it a bit higher. All right, so what we would do is just make it higher and eyeball that. This should do the job for now. This looks good. So the way you could duplicate the thing I guess a mirror is one way to do it, but the way they do it in the tutorial, and I will just follow the tutorial because I still need to learn the rules to break the rules. So we'll go with a transform. All right, that looks good. And connect it right there. And we will take that transform and put it to... Is it in the z-axis, y'all, or where are we going? Not here, not here, here. Okay, so this will be 1.7 more or less if we're correct. Okay, and what we would do is... I'm hearing myself in my ear a lot because I've been talking a lot today. So we will take the merge node, and once we have applied merge node, once we have applied that, we could have both values, which is great. And we will view it. And here we are, we have both. And eventually, I guess you would merge both of them, right? And then you would have everything together. Okay, we will see how that works. I will continue learning, and you guys on the stream will watch how that will happen. So we'll. I watched a lot of the tutorials of the tutorial right now. Okay, there's a lot to do, but we'll do it step by step. We will not burn ourselves out. So what we would do is now get rid of this. Oh, basically we understand the concept of hey, if this transform was merged again with the same thing, it should copy it on the other side. But it doesn't seem that we would need that. So far I understood. What we would need, however, is a transform from all those things here. Transform. And we'll do the same trick, right? And the same trick with the merge. So we would need a merge node as well. So we would transform it first, put this thing on the side a little bit. And one way to view something, and only one thing, is to box select it like that. But it didn't work now for me for some reason. Anyway, we will put that thing behind right there. Okay. Now, we see that we need to connect the roof here. So one way to do it is to go back to this extrusion. Or is it this extrusion? Oh, I think it's this extrusion. And now we take the 4, I think. Select the primitives. Okay, wait, let's check that out. How to select the faces. How to select the faces. What is happening? Why is this yellow and this one not? Okay, now we can do it. Okay, so 4 to select those, and shift. Okay, this shift A, and just until there. And guess what we'll do is extrude. All right, so we will extrude, pulley extrude, and we will extrude it upwards as such. Then, not only that, but we'll select again. We'll select those faces just like we did before. Here we go. Shift A, boom, done. And now we will reference it to the transform. Okay, just put that here like that. And we will connect these points right now by making an extrude again. Not like that. A tab, extrude, and we will make the extrude. Okay, wait, that's weird. We'll Ctrl Z that. Okay. All right. So, we should extrude only those points. Oh wait, we added an edit node. We don't want that. Now we reference the transform again and select the faces here. So Shift A, select until the end, please. Did it? No, it didn't. Not. It did not. And now we will add an extrusion. and we'll do it that way. And we see already that we don't want this thing to do the transform at that point, but we want it to do the transform at that point. So we'll have the transfer happening here. And now we see them connecting to each other. And now we will merge everything together. And we'll end up with this result right there. Okay, this is looking nice. Instead of making the column on their own, I think we could also introduce the idea of extruding those things. I'll go back right here and we'll actually select those faces at the bottom and maybe give them an edit. So enter, or does that not work? 4 again. This and that, it doesn't work for us. So we will add if you click E, you can edit them, and this should be on the 0. All right, I like that. It gives me some flexibility. Let's take those nodes down. All right, and now with the 4 again, we take these. Second. Yeah, we go back to the edit, and with the 4 again, we can add extrusion again and push that down as such. All right, good enough. Yeah, this should do it. For now, this is working for us. If we go back to the end result, we see some crazy stuff going on. Where did this start to develop? Did it start here? Did it start here? Or did it start here? Okay. See, some data changed and now it's doing this crazy stuff. So we will go back to the extrusion and delete. Keep going, Control Z until the edit thing is gone. And one more and one more and one more, and now it's gone. Okay, so if the edit thing is gone, let's go back to the origins. So basically back here. And now we will select the edges as we see here. We will try to edit again. And hey, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's completely fine. Let's see if that will affect our last result. It shouldn't. All right, that is looking great so far. We will go back right here. Actually, one after the thickness. So we will go when we edit the thickness. And now we will extrude again and see if that would affect the final result. And now we will hit on the extrusion and go down as such. All right, this is looking good. Let's see if it affected the final result. And yes, it did. So when we add an extrusion as such, we're adding more faces. We're not editing the current thing. So this will add a lot of problems. So in a way, you don't need those problems. So what we would do is go after we have merged them and now create the extrusion. This could work too. I'm not sure if this is inefficient, but as a beginner for now, for my own understanding, for my own sanity, we will go with that. So poly extrude, and let's take those down. All right, so far so good. And now we can add the copy node. All right, so copy node should be called copy. And it's a bit similar to the array. Not sure if it's called copy and transform, honestly, but we'll go with it. So this one right here should be connected to this. Oh, total number. Let's make some translate here. We will view it first. We'll reference our old result and now give it a value in the... Nope, this will stay like it is. Nope, this will stay like it is in the X. Okay, so far so good. I can see that we created one mistake. That is that we... So if this was to go over this thing, it will be expensive for games. But for now, this just for learning, just for the sake of learning. We are just learning right now. We're not worrying about any stuff related to any performance yet, of course, but eventually we will. One thing I noticed is that extrusion should not have happened on the right side because it's just repeating. So one way to fix this is by bypass for now. We'll add a new extrusion right there. Press 4, select the faces you want to select. Okay, we're gonna have to go here and not the referencing, but just right there. Okay, and now we will add an extrusion and go down, please. All right, so if this was to be saved, right? It should be saved right here and continue to the array or to the copy modifier. And now we see that it's not being repeated at the end of it. Looks good. Yeah, okay, good stuff. Yeah, I will basically take this result and be happy with it. We've been streaming for almost 8 hours. I am satisfied by today's stream. We've learned a lot about Houdini and how it works. If you're watching this on YouTube, this is your first episode, so stay tuned for tomorrow's episode, which will be episode 2. This is our very first result so far. There will be more to come. There's more exciting stuff, and we will learn more things. So far, we have achieved a lot today. We have had 2 hours and a half of learning, but 8 hours of stream because of installing Houdini, getting things done. Lots of breaks, watching the tutorials, trying to understand the theory, and interacting with the chat. Okay, so that's it for now. Thank you all for joining. If you haven't followed yet, follow me on Twitch. This will help a lot and to sustain this. And yeah, on YouTube, give me a subscribe and a like, and leave your comment by what you think we should do next. And yeah, that's it for now. Thanks for coming over and watching the stream. See you guys tomorrow, same time. All right, Jack is out. Peace out, guys. Bye.